Is it possible to be three different people? What are you talking about, Steve? Three different people? In this lesson, I'm going to show you that we are multiple personalities, but I want to break it down and kind of make it easy for you to absorb is that we are actually three different people at the same time. So now let me break this down. Get your pen and paper out. Get your pen and paper out. You're going to want to watch this video multiple times. Every time that you watch this video, you're going to get a better understanding about how our mind works, how our body works, how a lot of stuff works to be able to make a transformation to be the person who we want to be. Now, because this channel is about money, it's about making more money, because I believe that if you have your finances taken care of, a lot of the other stuff in your life can either improve or get you to a place that you've always wanted to be. And that's mainly because you had the time. You don't have the worries about where your next meal is going to come from or how you're going to pay the mortgage or the rent or the car note and all that stuff. Just imagine if all of that stuff was gone, how would you be able to live? How more comfortable your life would be right now. Not to say that problems will go away, because even people with money make a lot of problems for themselves. And actually, this video will actually kind of help you understand why people, even when they get to where they want to be, why they have all of these problems. So now, first, I got these three images here, these three representations of us as people. This is who we are now. This is who you are right now. This is you day to day. This is you day to day, moving through life. This is our conscious mind. This is what we're doing. Over here is our subconscious mind. And then over here is who we want to be. And the reason why I have it like this, where it doesn't have a complete body, is because most of us, when we're trying to get over here, the biggest problem is that we have not fully designed our life as this person. So now I'm going to use myself as an example, because if I can't use myself as an example, why in the hell would you even listen to me? So first, to make the transformation in my life from making barely any money in 1990 to starting to move myself up in the business world, starting my first successful company in 1990. I tried a whole bunch of other stuff, and I've done other stuff after that wasn't successful. But that one company that I started with my wife in 1990 to moving up, I had a whole bunch of transformations in my life. But first, let me kind of let you know what's going on between all of us on a day-to-day basis. The subconscious mind has everything in it, and it's stuff that comes from us growing up, friends, family, environment, church, religious stuff. All of this stuff is just going into this computer, building this individual here. This individual here starts to build up stories to make an identity. That identity is pushed forward as who you are every day. So all of this that is built up with the stories that dominate, because there's certain stories that don't dominate you. Certain stories that you've gotten from other people, you might have just said disregard them, you didn't have that much respect, or you did your own filter to where you were like, I'm going to, think this way, not that way. But it's all stored within you, and then that becomes who you identify with. And there's nothing that I can say, someone else can say. Once you have that identity, it doesn't even matter with your parents, your kids, all of that. You cannot break their identity once they get that identity. From research, usually around the age of 7, 8, 9, and 10, that identity is built, and that foundation has a cement slab over it, and that individual will live their life moving through life that way. Not to say that things can't change, but it makes it a lot harder. So everything that's in here, religious, about money, about business, about life, about foods, everything was put into you, put into us, and then that's what we identify, and we move through life that way. Now, this individual over here, though, here's the exciting thing about this individual right here. This is the only individual that you get to actually make. Like, you think that you made yourself who you are today? Do you really believe that? Like, this here had a big scale that, good or bad, we fight throughout our lives. Things that our parents did, and we carry them on, and we pass them on to our children. What we think about money, the way we treat ourselves, and pass that on to our children. So it's just like it could either be a good cycle or a bad cycle. But this person over here, you get to put, it's like the scale is flipped. You're going to have 80% of the input of this individual. 80%, you get to make that person 80%. And then the other 20% is going to come from over here. What needs to happen is you have to quiet what you don't want here as you start to construct who you want to be right here. So now, how can this person here, with all of this stuff that's in the subconscious mind that fights daily, because the subconscious mind is like a computer. Computers don't go to sleep. So when you're trying to do something to change your life, and all of this stuff about how you know about your capabilities, don't have money, who do you think you are? You didn't grow up in a family that has money. You maybe your race or whatever. All of that stuff comes about, and when you try to be this person, depending on how bad you want it, it could tear itself down, or it could be very hard to make that transition. But there is an easy way. There is an easy way, and this is what I found out for myself. So now, this is what I did. And I talked about this in the past video. There was a hypnotist named Marshall Silver that I had got his program years ago in the 1990s on little cassette tapes. And he had said, he said that in his life, he wrote down his perfect day of work and perfect day of play. And so guess what Stephen A. Williams did in my 20s? I wrote it down, my perfect day of work, perfect day of play, and then I walked around with it with these Walkmans. If you don't know what a Walkman is, it was before the MP3 player came about, and I had to record it on a cassette tape. I put my perfect day of work, perfect day of play. I was walking around with that in my ears. What I didn't understand is that I was completing this individual. But don't get people excited here. I was completing myself here. To be able to make the change, to quiet down the negativity that is built within you right now, for you to be able to consciously move forward, and all you're doing is you're moving forward to be this perfect person. That person there looks bad. Let me draw a better one. To be this new transformed person, you got to have a clear picture. So how did I get my clear picture? And the thing about it is that you're going to transform this person a lot. This person is going to be changing a lot. Like, I'm not the same business person that I was in the 1990s. I'm not the same business person that I was in the late 1990s. I'm not the same business person that I was in the early 2000s, middle 2000s, end of the 2000s, into the 2010s, 2015s, I'm not the same business person or even the same person per se. Because I've always like been a very caring person where I would hear people out. So that hasn't really changed. So you can say that that was probably the 20% that I carried over here. But what I really started doing was focusing in on who I wanted to be as a business person, who I wanted to be as a person. And there's some things that you gotta do that make you feel good about being this person on a daily basis. So like, think about it this way. If you're working out, let's just say you're like, I want to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I want to lose weight. Well, you can't lose the weight going to the gym the first day, second day, third, fourth, fifth. So, but what do? You exercise, exercise, exercise. And what do you feel like because you're putting towards the effort to do those things? You feel good. So really what you have to do to make this transformation of this person is you have to build that person. I built myself. I was like, I wake up in the morning, I go to my own personal gym. I'll be on the treadmill, I go in my sauna. When I first get into my gym, my own gym that I don't share with anybody, I go into my sauna. And I'm sitting in my sauna. I didn't know at that time I was going to be sitting there looking at the different videos on social media, but that's what I do. I'm just telling you, that's what I do, and I feel good about doing it. I sit in there for about 30, 45 minutes, and I come out all lathered up, and then I start to exercise, and I pick whichever exercises that I'm going to do. I might do a cardio day, I might do a weight day, I might do a boxing on my punching bags and my speed bag. I might do that. That's my morning. So if I'm thinking, what's my perfect day of work, perfect day of play? Well, I wake up in the morning feeling good. Number one, have you ever heard waking up on the wrong side or the right side of the bed? I make sure that I wake up all the time on the right side of the bed. Even though I sleep on the right side of the bed, but that if you sleep on the left side of the bed, when you wake up, you have yourself in the right mindset to get up, and you're always going to get up on the right side of the bed. So it even starts before that. I go to sleep thinking about how good my life is, thinking about family, thinking about just good things to get my subconscious to start working on what I wanted to work on. It might be business. And then I wake up in the morning and I make sure that I pop up, get up, feel good about getting up. Go into your gym. This is your own gym. Who wouldn't feel good about having their own gym that they get to work out in? Who wouldn't feel good about that if you like exercising? Then I pick which vehicle I want to drive. I don't drive my Rolls Royce to work, but I usually either drive Mercedes to work or Range Rover to work. Not the Jeep. That's my wife's. That's hers. So I'll pick which car I want to drive to work. And then I'll go by one of my office buildings. On certain days, I go in there. On other days, I just drive by it. That's my office building. That's my office building. Then I come over here to the bank building that I own. And then I come in and I look around. I'm usually the first one in. And I'm like, I'm damn happy that I have this bank building. I'm very happy. And as a matter of fact, before I even bought this bank building, what I used to do that transformed into the person who would own this building is before I even put in an offer and I drove and saw this building, I would come to this place, drive right down the street here, do a U-turn, and then look at the building and picture myself owning this building before I even put in an offer to buy it. And then I would go to my other office building. I did that every morning because I was like, what would I do as this new person who's going to own this building? I would drive to this building. Guess what? Years later, I've owned it for now going on 3 years. I drive to this office building. It's mine. I said for this individual that was going to have this office building, oops, for some reason the screen is moving. I don't know why. I said that I wanted to have the desk a certain way. I had a picture in my mind. Guess what? All the office has desk. I wanted a conference room. We're in my conference room right now. Glass. I wanted a glass conference room. Glass. I wanted certain types of chairs in this conference room. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chairs. I wanted a long table in the conference room. I wanted to be able to do videos in my conference room on something that's not going to be dirty. Guess what? My wife got this for me. This is a big tablet. But none of that can happen if you don't have that picture in your mind. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want you to get confused and think that I'm telling you that this picture has to be 100%, it's going to come true 100% the way that you envision it. No, there could be changes, there could be adjustments, all of that. But how can you move forward if you don't have a picture? That would be like you saying, I'm going to go to Texas from New York, and you don't even have a map, you don't even have no street signs, you don't have no freeway signs, you don't have nothing. So how can you get there? Same thing works in our mind. The same thing. If you're going to make a transformation from where you are now, and I don't know why my screen did this, maybe I could get it to come back. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. But just think about it. How can you get anywhere if you don't have a roadmap to be able to get there? So now I could go into even further detail about this, but you may not be on this level yet. You may not be on this level yet. And something else that I could tell you right now, if there was like one little piece of advice that you're going to have to always carry in your pocket with you, is that when you set this whole picture up, you cannot worry about what other people are going to say to you. You cannot care about negative comments or whatever it is. You cannot care about that stuff, because when you become this person, people are either going to retract away from you or they're going to come toward you. But this is the thing that you got to understand, is that that's their choice. Your choice is to be this person that you picture yourself to be. That's why some of the times people will be like, someone was an overnight success. You hear this a lot with like musicians. It seems like they came out of nowhere. They got a hit record. What they usually do is they put this stuff aside and they start to transform and think about who they want to be, and they have a clear picture. And to be a musician, I told this to a guy, I was doing a talk with the students at a school, and I was asking them, what do you want to do in your life? And everybody pointed over to this guy and said, he's going to be a rapper. And I said, well, what do you as a rapper have to do on a daily basis to be a successful rapper? And he was like, he didn't even know. And I suggested you get a full picture of who you want to be as a rapper, who you want to be. And then you start to add up what you need to do on a daily basis to be that person. So let's do a quick review. Now, there's a whole bunch more to this. This is stuff that my wife and I do when we coach people, is that it does not matter what business you're trying to be in. See, that's the whole scam on people. Everybody is focused on the business. And then some of the people who talk about helping people and coaching them on a personal level, they don't understand this. See, here's something that's going to happen. If someone is coaching you right with this, you're going to get into an argument with them. Not like a bad, like it's going to be some back and forth. And let me tell you the reason why there's going to be back and forth. Because this identity that you have right here, this that's inside of here, this stuff is cemented. This stuff is cemented. let me, on my notes here, let me just break down what's in here. Let me give you a little bonus. At the top level, you're going to have spiritual or religious beliefs. Right below there, you're going to have identity beliefs, who you identify yourself as. But that is also built on the values belief, what you value in your life, your behavior beliefs, your capabilities belief, and your environmental beliefs. So if you're trying to be a person over here who makes $1 million, and over here, the most that you have someone in your family makes $100,000 a year, you have an identity at the most of $100,000 a year. That means that you are not even this person yet. You're trying to get to this person. So now who is going to inside of you, what thought process is going to dominate? Something that you've never felt before, that you only have this urge, this feeling of want, of this big, huge desire, or something that you know. Which one is going to pull the most? Capabilities. If you say you're trying to do a business, like I started an AI company, and I don't know anything about AI. I don't know anything about programming. I just know what I want the end result to be. For me, as this new transformed person, I believe that that company is going to be $1 billion company. I cannot base this individual off of my capabilities that I have here. That would be a mismatch. I would be fighting with myself all the time. I would not get anywhere. I would not move anywhere. But if I make that adjustment and say, well, my capabilities is going to be to put a team together to do what needs to get done. I'm capable of doing this so we can move forward with the project with a team that knows what they're doing. That, like, those little adjustments. But here's the thing. We don't want to be told we can't do something. We don't want to be told you can't do this, you can't do it. So we'll fight to the end for all of this stuff here, even if it stops us from being this person that we want to be right over here. That's why you got to have a complete picture. If you get a complete picture of who you want to be and you start to do the transformation, and some of the times, most of the time, you're going to have somebody to coach you through this. You're going to have somebody to coach you through it. Even multi-billionaires, if you look at them, there was somebody in their lives, somewhere, or they had the foundation put together that allowed them to easily transform to things that they wanted to be. I've told this story in the past, and I'll tell it again. My grandchildren, I say it starts in the mind. You can do, have, be what you want to be, but it starts in the mind first. What did I tell you earlier? Foundation, that identity, right there. If you tell people early, you're already helping them get right here. Now, for us, most of our parents didn't know this, so you know, we have what we have. It is what it is. But for me, what I'm doing with my grandchildren, and I suggest once you are successful, what you can pass down to your children, or you can already start inserting that information into them so that foundation can be built, because you already know where all of the stuff, your shortcomings and stuff come from, is because the fear. As a matter of fact, what we call this, all of this is just information. And it has stories. Every piece of information about your identity, about money, about dealing with people, about how people look, this, sound, all of that stuff is information, and each piece of that information has a story attached to it. And the way that the story is built is how you react to stuff right now, and how you move forward to be this person, or you retract to stay this person right here. But if the stuff is built with stories that help you be able to make that shift over here, new stories, you can build new stories to help you make that shift. It's going to make it a lot easier. But the thing is that you're still going to fight. This stuff here that you're going to fight for, your spiritual beliefs, religious and spiritual beliefs, identity beliefs, value beliefs, behavior beliefs, capabilities belief, and environmental belief, you will fight to the ends of the earth to have all of that stuff stay right and consistent in your life. Not because it's right. It's because that's how you are built. Same thing for me. But when I was confronted with the inconsistency about who I said I wanted to be here, what I was doing right here, and all of the stuff, when I started to really do the change, the stuff that started waking up and getting loud right here, and I had to make a decision. And when I made that decision and I came out on this side, being that individual right there, people said, you have changed. What? You're different. Who do you think you are? But that's what you're going to have to be willing to go through. But some people are afraid to even go through that because they identify as that person. They want to be here, but they want to be the same person that they are right here and right here. You can't be that same person. If you think you can be that same person, then the game is over for you right now. So I'm going to end the video here because I could go a lot further. When my wife and I help people with this here, it doesn't matter what business you do. It doesn't matter what business you do. Because when you have this picture complete and you know the reasons that make it hard for this picture for you to exist with it, for you to start to transform and materialize in your life because of the stuff that's going on right here, you have a decision to make. See, right now, you're playing, you're swimming. You're not really doing nothing. You think you are. You're not really doing anything. And don't get upset and don't take my word for it. Look at where you're at in your life. Are you where you want to be at in your life? As a matter of fact, for me in my life, I'm where I want to be at. The things what I'm trying to do in my life is to do greater things. But actually, where I'm at in my life is where I want to be at. I got it set up exactly the way that I pictured it. So where are you at in your life? So what I want you to do for your homework, I want you to post your questions and comments on this video. Second, I want you to watch this video over again and over again. Take out a piece of paper, write down the stuff, because this stuff is the first steps of you being able to transform your life to get you to where you want to be. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.